afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting and everything and amazing Propagandacast from your host from Pearl Dane. The one and only master propaganda heroes like defender of the fatherland, off here to 1v1 on Langres.
Are reporting for duty.
We're off here to a nice match between the USF and the Wehrmacht. Well, that's nice we can get in the current metagame. The man who puts the Slaad in Unslaad, yes, of course it is Mule in the south. Fighting here for the German army. Why he keeps doing it, we don't know. But he's here with the 90th Panzer Grenadier with Terror. North it is Evgir Unslaad, fighting here for freedom, democracy and liberty. Setting forth with the US 1st Armored Division. No immediate battle group pick for him. They do get double scouts into engineers. There's a triple pioneer there for Mule. Folks are getting out some more points. Grab Pleasant View for 2, so of course we'll have ambush camouflage. So we are off here. As always, a big hearty thanks to my patron supporters for continued and generous contributions towards the war effort. Really helps out a lot. A big thanks for commenting and liking on the videos. Helps immensely with the YouTube algorithms. So we've got Evgir here with a early Jeep. Wondering what he's planning with that, since he doesn't have armor, so he can't see get out immediately at Veterancy 1. Maybe he's expecting a cannon crowd out of Mule. We'll have to see. You don't really know. We'll probably won't be seeing because Mule doesn't have a cannon crowd. So can't really determine anything based off of that. And any speculating guess. A bit light skirmish, Jeep pushing eastwards, MG42 from Mule.
MG42 and crew
With
ready.
the ambush ability. For free. If there's the pioneers. We'll have to see what Evgir ends up with. I mean, current state of affairs could be advanced infantry, could be heavy weapons, could be airborne. There's not really much of like any specific indicator here.
Mustered for battle.
Our assignment.
Seeing it hasn't gone for weapon support, and even that would just indicate either heavy weapons or advanced infantry. There's a lot of those builds with a lot of scouts about at the moment. 30 counts. Nothing before sneaking up here. West side remaining pretty fairly lightly understaffed here on both sides, as both players are putting all their effort here towards the eastern side of the map.
Fire has been laid.
Grenadiers coming up here for Mule as well. Deutschland. That continue to occupy the German forces, using that time to flank up a rival squad here. Nice move there by Evgir. Unfortunately for Evgir, it's ruined, even Mule having pioneers spotting the rival squad flanking in there. Of course, good canoe though. Mule actually ensuring there are eyes around his machine gun team, so it doesn't get up on. Comes up there to Mule. Thumbs up. Granny's trying to push towards getting Scots, though. Scouts, not Scots. Thank heavens. Scouts getting into the building, they're locking the door and getting between the Germans out. The infantry creeping ahead here. Engineers pursuing here. Pioneers going up against them. West side. Standoff continues there. Pioneers looking back there. Go. Trying to merge is just, I think, a waste of manpower. And he is still cut through the Pioneers pretty rapidly. Officers' quarters there. Slightly heavy tier 1, of course, gets healing for the Grenadiers, and he's going to need that for these Pioneers because in such a low state of health here, like any sneeze from the Allies is going to wipe them. No, cancel it from medic station instead. Maybe planning to go for a faster 2-1, we'll have to see. Keep the continued occupy things alongside scouts. The scouts are starting to like hit that point where Evgir and Slaad really need to withdraw them. There we go. Keep similarly also in a state of aggressive disrepair, where like any good German shot collided up a box of fireworks. Life holding up here. Basil needs to move past the screen, please. Thank you. Thank you. Basil, move it.
Sectors are isolated. We have been cut off.
Commandant.
Here in front of my screen is very much like an autobahn. You do not slow down or stop. You keep moving. So, flamethrowers there thinking towards me. Mule definitely has some incentive to lay down some mines. There goes that brings back. So far, the Evgir's got Mule here in a bit of a tough spot here. Scout space in the west.
Enemy has claimed our territory for their own.
Medical station here with Evgir, as well as Mule's Panzer Grenadier Company is almost done. Noting no Luftwaffe company into the fast 2-1, which is very much a good portion of the 1v1 metagame at the moment of the Wehrmacht. A nice diversion there from Mule. Machine hunting up here, so the German machine crews went on for their ambush tactics from time to time.
Waiting orders.
Pioneers sneaking up there, particularly Normandy.
Sector
All
lost.
the bocage. So there's some nasty tricks you could pull off there. That said, the MD42 team like this was typically used more offensively, so that was the intended use. It's like support and infantry attack. Fun fact there. In fact, the idea would be even during defensive fighting, they actually remove the MD42 from the tripod and switch over to a bipod. That's a
The
bit fun
enemy
as well.
holds all victory points.
He's in a bit of trouble. Granny's moving forward. Trials, but they're also putting the pressure on him. Mule's really got his back and small already here, courtesy of Evgir. Unslaad. Almost gotten his wiped out. Close call here, but looks like Mule's Grenadiers can't finish the job and do get the support center and a weapon support center. So many support centers there. Scout's close to being taken out.
We have lost a sector.
And then got Panzer Grenadiers now here for Mule.
We're ready.
Look, cancels that. Tank. Also briefly had a half-track considered there, but he's clear, like, you know, considering all the potential options. We even got here, switching away from weapons support center to the motor pool there for Evgir as well. So both sides there definitely have a slightly tougher time to pick up. At the same time for Mule, he probably has a pretty good idea that no matter what, Evgir is going to hit him with light vehicles. It's just a matter of, like, it's going to be the Greyhound, it's going to be like something like the M60. In this case, is the Greyhound Balls. So Pack 40, they're almost done here. The Panzer Abwehr Kanone 40, one of many anti-tank guns that Germans used throughout the war, and many of them will also be converted ones. Either just Soviet guns converted using German ammunition,
Arc deployed.
or French guns as well, just using German gun mounts as well, like the Pack 38, I believe, had a lot of those too. Highlighting that the German army just really couldn't get enough of the equipment it needed a lot of the time, so they had to improvise a lot. Panzer Grenadiers there, no, got the Panzers on the way after the Pack 4, but he's got them all the way there. No sign of further battle ability, and Evgir Unslaad continues to yet pick anything. But he's got the M8 Greyhound on the way there.
Panzer Grenadiere have been deployed to the front.
Panzer Grenadiers moving forwards for the Sturmgewehre. Final grenades. East side having units busy sneaking down some mines. Got them on the flank and the field point at the same time. Deeds.
Pioneers ready.
Flying over Pioneers ready. Greyhound right around the corner here for Evgir Unslaad. Again, we'll have to see what he ends up with, but the longer it goes, I'd probably say heavy weapons just so you can, like, call in a Pershing, as it does tend to be, follow the typical MO of a lot of, like, these types of players. If they don't, like, pick a battle after a certain amount of time, it's almost universally always going to call in the big tank. I mean, there's always going to be exceptions, prices, but on average, like, it tends to be the big tank. Got the green string at the west side here, hunting for Germans. Spotting some unfortunate pioneers. They would quickly take a blast. The armored skirts upgrading their panzers about to engage. We got more Panzer Grenadiers out of Mule. Mule, though, still not much else there in terms of the battle group selections there. The Kampfgruppen.
We
I
have
got
territory
the
cut off from
Scout
supply.
Commander as well. As a side note, but typically Jeeps would operate together with like other armored vehicles like the M20 utility car or Greyhounds. Would rarely sort of be operating on the units from various organizational tables. So, there.
Victory point is under enemy control. Rather than being pushed back, taking here from being put in the Grenadiers, the Panzer Grenadiers as well here. So far, though, Evgir still, I think, has got an accurate result of putting a mortar. It's actually one he trained up, and not just say, suddenly drop off the Jeep.
Keep calm,
Pioneers on the field point, quickly being disrupted here by the Jeeps counter-attack. And we got scouts from like east side. Mules putting up more forces, clearly looking to make a push forward, see if we can control the buildings here, I think. And then threaten the field point. In the center, Grenadiers ready to try to capture the center victory point.
Victory point lost.
Not quite any commitment there. There we go. Push going on the east side. Fun grenade off. Also used to breach, but then he'd also let himself home to being counter-grenaded. Which is actually harder to dodge because half the time you can't counter the animation, meaning it becomes very easy to like then hit grenade. Basically, they haven't done anything to like, you know, make breach work better, essentially. Pack 40 there for Mule.
The enemy remains stubborn. We are down to 300 points.
Second one, and we got Unslaad with the BARD Browning automatic rifle.
How the hell did you make...
Down!
Strike fear into our enemy. Drive them from the field.
Contempt for the weak out of Mule.
Anti-tank gun and crew are ready for orders.
Finally, as they're close to being exterminated. Evgir, they're pushing through the center. Grenadiers realizing they're about to encounter the Americans and have to like get into an actual position. Smoke the possibility as part of the attack. Thumbs up here to Evgir. Fortunately, Infantry was not where Evgir fully anticipated and was able to like put a halt to the attack there. Still nice work there by Evgir. Germans counterattack here, catch the mortar crew in a bit of a bad position, forcing it away.
Split the trail!
It might be enough trouble here. Double packs put the lighted up there. Evgir isn't careful. Mule at the point we could like either tech up for the Panzer Company, could like, you know, get to put some streaks, maybe a needle there.
We have a surplus of command points
Rather
available.
getting more, but then you put two Panzers closing in here. Swift attack here by Mule, rolling forwards with assault rifle fire there. Engineers scattered like rats. Further east here, Pioneers could try and threaten the field point there. Of course, we know there's a mine. Oh, it's more like that. And there you go. Evgir finally makes a commitment battle-wise. It is advanced infantry,
Grenadier company
much
is
to
being
my
upgraded.
surprise. Not the most common choice of going for it this way. Doesn't mean it's bad, but definitely a bit unexpected. It's like he's aiming for howitzers, some big guns with it to
Infantry shall hold our territory
Crush.
at all cost.
Axis positions. We also got Mule there with the Panzer Grenadier Officers' Quarters, and we got Defend the Fatherland. And a Panzer Company now for Mule. Thumbs
Headquarters
up.
has an officer stationed.
Well, so the Pioneers coming in fire there. We got artillery beacons there out of Evgir and Unslaad. And the second mortar. Guessing he wants to go for the tank depot here, thus he's not building hulls, which does cost fuel. But, you know, he clearly wants more artillery, so on top of the artillery beacon and the mortar, he goes for another mortar. That's a lot of mortars.
Territory secure!
8 centimeter
And we got Mule
mortar
going
is
for a
ready to
mortar of his
provide
own, a
support.
Granatenwerfer. That's a lot of mortars now in the field. Total of 3 mortars. Building collapse. Evgir forgetting about the rifle port. Gets it entombed there within the farmhouse. That's definitely a bit of an awkward blow. Then always a good reminder that you need to be careful about your stuff, your units inside buildings. Because you really don't want like stuff in like sort of a building like this. It's typically not where you're going to be paying attention. Thus you risk like, you know, getting them wiped if the building collapses. Because the opponent can just like, you know, at their own time and they shall wreck the building with your unit in it. Evgir going for more artillery observers on top of the additional riflemen here, bring in more guys with which to storm the German positions and send them packing to
We
Berlin.
have lost control of a victory point.
Mortars they're dueling it out. The American mortars quickly going for counter battery fire than the German one. And there Garage will make a head-on attack.
Territory lost.
Then we got mortar fire there, and again 2 mortars can quickly snuff things out. Now mind, we still got the radio artillery beacon as well here. But in fact, he's going for more, which will obviously mean even more artillery, though this one's up close as space. I mean, could become relevant down the road, but at least for now, it does seem a bit overly much in terms of caution. There you go, Grey moving in and catching the punch grenades as Mule's assault continues here. The vanguard pushes forwards, undeterred by the armored car, letting down heavy fire against it. West side here, Pioneers holding up. Falcon closing in. Mortar blasting away. He's routed. There you go, Greyhound strikes out the Pioneers. Unpack wave, but still, Mule's got good map control. His Panzer Company slowly going up. Evgir Unslaad, though, we're not seeing too much else. He's not even making preparations for the possibility of tanks, but bringing out tank guns. So he's definitely looking a bit exposed in several ways right now. He will need to get back more map control, but also he will need to start making preparations for the direct possibility he's going to get hit by a lot of tanks. Anything intense, I don't know, bazookas or something. There you go. Evgir Unslaad also makes the move and heads for the tanks.
You have 3 command points at your
There you go.
disposal.
Panzer Company ready here for Mule and the
Our
90th.
shooter shall break
Panzer
their
Company
resolve.
shown he's not going for the target tank though. We got the Stuka ability there.
Territory sector lost.
Another artillery beacon there out of Evgir Unslaad. Mule's starting to slowly trail behind the Evgir in terms of victory points. Captain push back here. Quick German push, Brand Ultima again. Oh, Captain right. At least the till observers make it out of that one alive. I'm in pretty good condition too. Almost same position there from Evgir Unslaad's mortar pit. You can see there the area it used to be is still getting bombarded there by Mule. So placing the artillery beacon right in the same area isn't exactly ideal. I mean, that's a pretty good, piece of advice when it comes to stuff like this. It's already in a kind of exposed area, but the opponent's seen once already. Really don't want position the same thing in the almost the exact same place again. Unless it's a mine your opponent kept walking over, cool. But if it's anything your opponent just easily fire artillery at, it was something like this. So, bit of advice there, bit of advice. Fast control, we got double automatic fire squad, Panzer squad here, and they get the wipe. No BARs drop though. 279 versus 329. There we go. Great shot here from Pack 4 right from the side arm of the Greyhound. Center, scouts moving forwards, west side. Engineers poking ahead here with the
The
flamethrowers.
enemy has taken a victory point.
279 versus 325.
One of our anti-tank guns has been
And a
silenced.
pack crew meets a demise here at the hand of American forces. Note, of course, has been laying down some barbed wire to help fortify the east side. He's been flanking the Greyhound. BAR's building right moving in here. And there we go. Panther Fast off. Engine blown out. Greyhound there in a terrible spot. Terrible time in that, too. There you go. Holding off the pack there. Not airburst shells, but rather the... Okay. That's a sound effect. Underfiring Sherman there for Evgir Unslaad, Panther for the Mule. Not entirely sure you should go for underfiring Sherman, mostly because of the fact that, well, he's got no anti-tank weapons.
Commandant, territory sector
I feel like this should be a regular Sherman first, maybe a Hellcat, but I think the underfiring Sherman here as the first unit, bit too risky there. It assumes your opponent's not going to be hitting you with tanks anytime soon, which, considering everything, is a big ask. Well, let us go. Maybe you can still make it work, but I do feel like this is a bit on the risky end.
Panzer IV reporting in.
There you go. Panther already for Mule. Panzer Kampfwagen 4. And the assault rifle wielding Panthers continue to push forwards. West side Grenadiers, Pioneers thinking west side further. Pioneers forcing off the engineers. 279 versus 308. One more to fight. Grenadiers, Pioneers trying to get the Sherman on the head here.
Surplus munitions to spend.
Munitions there floated by Mule. May want to start spending it on something. He's likely saving up here, of course, for the one rocket.
The enemy has 300 points remaining.
300 points left here for Evgir Unslaad. And there you go. First tank on tank engagement on the farm machine, that's the Panda 4. With anti-tanks around 30, he finally realizes that, oh yeah, he might be running into some of those German Panzers. Hunter is routed, now the anti-tank slowly on the way there for Evgir. More to recruit. Here we got one of the pack crews withdrawing from an otherwise exposed front line. Granny is spotting it using fleetly, I think, the air turn artillery to try and have the mortars. And the two beacon there, and he's more or less put. He's still there, by the way, not the second one, but kind of unhealthy.
Enemy forces have captured a victory point.
Bit of mortar fire. He's up rifling with the Panzer Grenadiers. Lupsov's giving up here, noting I don't think it's upgrading even to Lupsov's just to get access to the business needs, but that could be a consideration if Evgir.
We're taking Panzer fire here! It's not over yet!
Got the grain efficiency too. And Mule continues to sort of either very slowly move towards the Reaper rocket and very slowly move towards the King Tiger. The lead one is at least a bit faster than the King Tiger in terms of power. Flares and smoke here going back and forth here. A lot of mortified there, courtesy of Evgir starts glorious mortars. And looks like someone at East here got absolutely decimated by German assault troops. Now to swing westwards here. I feel like he could have attacked up from here, get behind Evgir Unslaad's front line. Another late fuse mortar bomb there. Got that Panther 4 being fixed up. German, they're dying way too hard again, getting hit by double pack 40s. No smoke screen hit for some support attack here by Evgir. Bad oversight. Flanks also seeming to be getting more and more forgotten here, but Evgir Punt was also using infantry, so he can't quite exert as much influence there. Whereas Mule has a total of 4 infantry squads. Still, 2 Grenadier squads, 2 Panzer squads. With a good amount of support in terms of machine guns, mortars, and other things. So he can sort of, I think, much better affect the battlefield against Evgir's lack of infantry, using a certain amount of support weapons. There's not really much to multiply with in the sense that he lacks infantry. So what is Evgir playing next? Sherman, Hellcat, another 100-pounder Sherman. I feel like a second 100-pounder Sherman to an extent, but I argue it does make sense that with infantry core weapons, would still fall short against the tanks. But now Evgir just floats. Not quite like a butterfly, nor does he quite sting like a bee. Meanwhile, we've got a Sturmpanzer for the Mule. Bringing something a bit heavy here, then is Panda 4 to try and roll off the Americans here from the fields. Evgir needs to switch up tactics and strategy here. The current approach is, I think, just slowly bleeding him out.
Bomber heavy assault gun is standing by.
Sturmpanzer ready here for Mule. And so the match has definitely lost a lot of momentum at the moment. They fire push back. Of course, for Evgir, this is particularly the problem since, you know, one's like the fire pressure his opponent, but it isn't. Got a howitzer there for Evgir. I mean, there's a certain logic to it, but I think right now He kind of has enough artillery in a sense. He just needs more units to like all work together. Tanks or infantry. But I think that's more what Evgir needs right now, rather than a howitzer to go along with the 2 mortars and his radio beacons. John Panzer laying loose, another silly beacon there spotted, about to get wrecked. And the house is exposed. He does get it in his right time, but it's right from the Sturmpanzer. And just it happens, got the V1 ready here for Mule. Which highlights the other issue for the howitzer, obviously. I'm going to point that sooner, but as she's supposed to explain here, in case there's any doubt about it. But creating an emplacement like that, you know, big target when your opponent's going for the battle group that might just, you know, have the exact counter for having a big static target is definitely something you want to be really, really careful about. And certainly there's not necessarily a lot of indicators here what's going on. We saw the Infantry 2 with the ambush on, so that should have served as an indicator, a clue. He didn't actually see it. And again, he should have. That his opponent might be going for terror, at which point the V1 rocket is a definite consideration. That does need to be kept in mind. So, a bit of a strategic error there by Evgir and Unslaad. I think several strategic errors at this point. And particularly again, does like laying down in place, but particularly like with this, then ease of access for the opponents, like just spot and deal with it is not ideal. At the very least, you maybe consider like up here, maybe up here, like just somewhere where the opponent can't like just almost go from the base in a straight line and then just, you know, call in a V1 rocket on it.
Armor will be applied to panzers. Post haste.
Sides good, and off the squad is there for Mule, thumbs up. Of course, again, even with that position here, of course, we've still been vulnerable to the V1 rocket, which again is the other problem. Doesn't say you can't go for it, but you definitely then want to make sure you can like get as much value out of that howitzer as fast as possible before that V1 rocket comes screaming straight at it.
Commandant, we have surplus munitions to spare.
In the end, we saw that was not the case at Evgir and Unslaad, and his howitzer is now just a crater.
The enemy has claimed our sector.
Not exactly a deal unless you're the Germans. Hunter guns going to be used for the catch mark squad, pushing them back. We got 269 versus 149. Bunkers up there, Basil Yang for attention and food.
Headquarters has an officer stationed.
He knows it's not quite as dinner time, but he always pushes
V1
for
rocket
it.
primed and ready for launch.
Another V1 rocket here for Mule. That's definitely more promise than Evgir and Unslaad. Democracy. Another round squad here for Evgir and Unslaad. Unslaadist.
Understood. MG-42 upgrade on the way.
And it's been upgraded, and Mule, of course, looking to further fortify any points here, making it much harder for Evgir and Unslaad to say just bum rush in the
The enemy
infantry.
breaks before us.
Like
They have
maybe
only
just throwing out the
100
fight,
points
so
remaining.
you'll definitely like just trying to basically shut down every
Incoming
potential
an
door here that
MG-42.
Evgir could like try and barge through to like win this match.
Is engaged.
Metaphor.
Research completed.
Ah.
Enemy down to
Almost
75
managed to
points.
drag down
Do
the
not let
microphone
up.
there, I think, or something else. That's caused stuck in the cable. Dumb cat.
Command? Orders are complete.
So, John 69 65, really not good for Evgir and Unslaad. He got some
Upgrade complete.
delayed fuse bombs, but yeah, he needs to, like, you know, make a push.
We should
Bunkers.
spend our munitions at once. Their forces collapse. They are down to only 50 points.
50 points, 47, or has Evgir just kind of given up at this point? You see that from time to time, just some players just kind of go meh, and then he just wastes their opponent's time instead.
The enemy
There you
flees
go.
before us.
Game over, game over. In the end, I mean, I do think Evgir had some chances there, but some strategic errors here and there. I think just either mystery in the opponent because they didn't see that ambush machine gun, or just deliberately placing it down despite that. Also think, you know, proved to be rather crucial. So, there you go. Hope you enjoyed this match. You'll learn something from it. This is Imperial 18. Cheers, and see you all tomorrow for another exciting episode. Bye, everyone.